Hard to believe, but this year, the very day this video is being published, in fact, makes 40 years since the premiere of that quintessential late 70s sitcom that chronicled the misadventures of Jack, Janet, and Chrissy, and then Cindy, and then Terry. Here are, and I mean this in the most complimentary sense possible, 5 farcical things about Three's Company. Number 1, the not very scandalous premise. Today, men and women platonically cohabitating is fairly commonplace and uncontroversial, and I suspect it wasn't as transgressive 40 years ago as the show's producers made it out to be either. But that's Three's Company in a nutshell. It's a little naughty, but nothing too risque. Things were never as salacious as the show's most prudish characters or most moralistic critics made them out to be. And that holds doubly true for what today feels like the most dated element of the show. Number 2, Jack's gay charade. In order to convince the landlord to let him move in with Janet and Chrissy, Jack must pretend to be gay, to alleviate any concerns that there might be some hanky-panky between the three of them. From our vantage point in 2017, this sounds like a recipe for homophobic disaster. But throughout its run, Three's Company uses Jack's sexual secret identity to poke fun not at gay people, but at people who have a problem with gay people. Jack rarely adopts stereotypically gay speech or mannerisms, and the joke is always on the homophobes, not gay people, and the homophobes are invariably shown to be fools. And speaking of fools, I suppose I can't talk about this show without acknowledging number 3, Chrissy's creeping foolishness. One of the original 3 roommates and arguably the breakout star of the show's first 4 seasons, Chrissy begins the series as sweet and a bit naive. But by the time she leaves the show midway through season 5, she's become clueless to the point of incompetence and childlike in a way that makes her continued sexualization come off as creepy and a little off-putting. Not that I'm saying Jack would ever take advantage of her, perish the thought, but Jack is not the only swinging bachelor to live in their building. Let us not forget, number 4, Larry. Just Larry. He's the best and the worst. Larry is the greatest beneficiary of the show's light comic touch. The shit that he gets away with while still remaining likable and funny could only work on a show as untethered from reality as Three's Company. He routinely lies to women about who he is in order to sleep with them. He involves Jack in amoral schemes designed usually to benefit only himself. And sometimes he's just downright mean. Like when he pulls a series of hurtful pranks on Terry to discourage her from moving in with Jack and Janet at the beginning of season 6. It's really a testament to the writing and to the performance by Richard Klein as Larry that Larry never crosses over from scoundrel to scumbag. At least not permanently. And of course, Larry is not the only lovable bastard on the show. Let us turn now, finally, to number 5, the Ropers. Lovable bastard refers to Mr. Roper, of course, not Mrs. Roper, who is a delight in every way. And by the way, I just want to say a quick note to those of you who are a little annoyed with me for not mentioning Mr. Furley. I love Mr. Furley, but I've only got 5 slots on the list and I had to make some choices. And if I have to choose between the landlords, I'm going Team Roper, okay? The Ropers' interactions with the trio were always good for a laugh, and so was their relationship with each other, which gave the show's writers a chance to show off how many different ways they could write essentially the same joke about how disgruntled Mrs. Roper was in her sexless marriage to Mrs. Roper. And actually, that's the show in a nutshell, an exercise in telling the same few jokes over and over and over again in creative ways. And more often than not, they pulled it off. Which, I suppose, is why I'm standing here in front of a camera 40 years after the premiere of the first episode, listing some of the things I love about this deeply silly and very funny show. The hardest part, as Mr. Furley can attest, is picking only 5. Catch you next time. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And also please consider helping me to make more videos like this one by supporting this channel through Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Steve Shives to become a patron. Thanks for watching.